What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Rivah. It's very nice to meet you. Before we get into this video, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. And as I always say, make sure you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. It doesn't matter how you feel about this video. We all want to talk about it. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, follow my Instagram. It's at RIVAH_JORDON. And as you can see, we are back here with another reaction video for the Lapeef Network. Obviously, you see me right in the middle of the screen. So these are videos that I, was a guest on the show, and I did voice my opinion on certain topics. Now, it's important for me to bring these videos back to my platform and actually talk about it here because there was a lot of things that I was not able to say or I was cut off from saying, and I want to clarify and also get the chance to fully explain my opinion on. So you're going to see me reacting to these and giving a lot of information and insight to maybe the backstory that's not within this video or cut off in this video. As well as my full thoughts that may not have been able to make it to the videos that you guys are seeing. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this video. And yeah.
Here in the States, we have different cultures that obviously live here as well, who practice the same principles as if they were at home. That's why I ask these questions, just because, just for a broader conversation, I guess.
So Rivah, because I think that's interesting because I was rocking with you in terms of, thinking globally and knowing that people around the world do different things. 100%.
Yeah.
I just want to know your opinion. Let's say someone comes from, I think you said in Jamaica that their age consent is like 16.
Yeah.
So let's say someone came here. Do you think that even though wherever they may be, it might be illegal to do a certain thing at that age? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about them breaking the law in the name of their, culture and things that are okay where they're from? Do you think that people, when they go to a certain place, should practice what's being done there? Or do you think that people should hold on to whatever, and if they just go to jail, they just go to jail?
Do you want my YouTube answer?
I want your real answer. I want your real answer because I think globally too. I know there's so many differences around the globe, and
So I want to give a little backstory to this question. So, the initial video was, does age determine adulthood? And, at what age would you be considered an adult? Because, we know that the age here to be considered an adult is 18. Now, does that necessarily make you an adult? Was another question. An adult being kind of left up to interpretation, like what another person would consider an adult to be. And then, so for my example, I brought an example, and I was stating, let's just say, for example, this was just a random example. The dating, the legal dating age in a country as in Jamaica, I believe is 16, right? So I was just stating, say for example, you have two people who know each other, who are dating, who are in a relationship, maybe they've been together, whatever. Let's just say, for instance, that the person, the female, they're, from Jamaica, one is 16, the female is 16, maybe her boyfriend is 18, 19, whatever the case may be, right? And say, for instance, they come here, whether it's to live, whether it's on vacation, whether it's whatever, maybe we'll just say that they're on vacation, right? So here, that is not what they're supposed to be doing, right? Obviously, here, that is not what the laws are. However, they're not native to here. They don't live here. They're not from here. So does that mean that that person is not considered an adult, even if they're only here on, for example, vacation or whatever the case may be? Is what they're doing considered wrong? Was my initial question.
I would love to hear your response about that.
Well, I personally, I think okay, like there's laws, right? So we know that if you're here and there's a possibility that you're doing something that's not how it's supposed to be here, that there's a risk. You obviously could be going to jail, right, for whatever.
And I'm so glad. Again, I don't watch these videos before I react to them. I know I was obviously here, but I'm so glad that I actually got this portion, because I don't know what like the cuts are from the video that we did. And I'm so glad that this point is amplified, because it's clear and evident that I said that if you go somewhere, and even though it's something that maybe you're not accustomed to, or that's not the law of the country that you live in, or whatever the case is, you still have to abide by laws when you go to other countries, right? So obviously, I'm so glad that this is a portion of the video that's actually that I'm reacting to, so that you guys can see that before I gave any other example, before I gave any information, I clearly said in this video that obviously there's repercussions to your actions if you do something considered breaking the law.
Is that you're doing. If she's 16, even though you guys met there and you come here, it's not right here. Mm-hmm. However, me being the person that I genuinely am, I mean, you have to be yourself, right? You have to be who you are. It doesn't matter where you are, you still have to be true to who you are. That's how I firmly believe. So I don't care if we're here, if we're back home in Africa, if we're this. Your principles are your principles. I mean, for example, like, I'm not going to, celebrate pagan holidays because I'm not a pagan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just using that for an example. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't care where I am. I'm going to be grounded and true wherever I am. So to answer your question, yes, but there is a risk. You know what I mean? There is a risk. And it's also culturally, it has to be culturally appropriate, because if that's, say for instance they came from there and they moved here, right? Because you have a lot of people who migrate, and she's that age, and maybe she's been known this person from then, or they've been dating since then, and they come here. It's like, how can you say that she's wrong? It's different if you're here and you're just literally growing up here and you say, well, over there is this, so I want to do it too. That's a completely different story. But like, if that's literally the land where you're from, how can we call you wrong for doing that? How?
So like, and that was a good point, because okay, if that's where they're from and they come here, are they supposed to break up because they live in a different country? Is I think is a valid question to ask. And my broader point was just the point that in everywhere, adulthood, right, legal age, for example, because that's where the conversation ended up segueing to, is different all over the world. So who is to say that the age that we consider somebody adult is correct if it's so different in every other country? Was the broader situation that I was trying to bring light to. Because it kind of got stuck here in this conversation. I'm not 100% sure why, but it kind of got stuck on that one point, and I was trying to say that I don't think it should have delved into different conversations. We're not talking about breaking the law, and we're not talking in different ways. We're just talking about one example that I was using, that in a different country, age or adulthood is measured at one age. So if they go to a different country, how can we say that 18 is the correct age to measure somebody as an adult, or 25 or 21, or what? Like, the numbers are so different, and that was proving my point that the number being a certain age number does not make you an adult. Because if that was the case, again, as I said prior, then wouldn't it be the same across the board? Like, wouldn't even I heard when I brought up my dating point that even different states in America, that the dating legal age is different as well. So it's like, I don't understand how we can associate age and adulthood when the bigger question, the broader question is, at what level do we consider you a mature adult?
Over here. Well, no, but if you just come here, if you just come here and you barely know even what's going on over here, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can we call you, how can we say you're wrong?
Because when you come over here legally, mm-hmm. you have to have certain tests. You have to have certain laws to be able to come here and get a green card or come here legally. So it's not just, well, I'm bringing my culture over here and I don't know anything that's going on in America. That doesn't happen, or it shouldn't happen. And if it does, you're still responsible for what you go against the laws over here. It's not because it's my culture. Well, you decided to move here. So because of that, we have different laws that now you have to abide by. If you don't or don't want to, then you need to stay where you are.
So again, because you're moving here, and even though this is, legal in your country, again, we were only talking about a dating subject. You guys need to break up. Otherwise, go back to wherever you came from, was her sentiments that I completely don't agree with. So because it's okay where you are, what if they're engaged, right? What if they met at 16, he was 20, now she's, 17, they're engaged, he's now 21. So you guys should go back to your country until she turns 18, and then you guys can come here amicably. I don't think that's making any sense. And again, this is just from the perspective of age and adulthood that turned into a completely different conversation of wherever you come from, you need to stay there unless you abide by the laws here, which I kind of thought was neither here nor there argument, especially because that was not the bigger picture of the conversation. The conversation was measuring age and adulthood.
I think you should stay. I think you should stay where you are if you don't agree with all the laws over here.
That's right.
I think that's a stretch.
How?
Whoa.
If you don't want to abide by American laws, then you don't need to come over here because we abide by those.
I want to know in the comment section down below. I want to know every American in the comment section down below that lives here, that's born here on this land, that's from here. If you have never littered, if you've never ran a stop sign, if you've never ran a stoplight, if you never got a speeding ticket, I want to know every person that's from here that's done everything completely perfect as the law has asked you to, or as the law permits you to, all the time across the board. I want to know if you have always abided by every single law and rule from this country because you're from here.
And you can't use your culture as a crutch.
I think that's I think I'm not trying to cut you off at all. Mm-hmm. I don't want you to assume that I'm trying to.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm not being like that at all. But the reason why I strongly disagree with that, I'm not talking about when we're talking about like murder. I'm not talking about like, you know what I'm saying, like stuff that's like you can't do these things. But what we're talking about, like in the sense that Kay was asking, in a relationship sense, I think. Literally from that one spectrum, I think that's a harsh statement. That if you don't like all of the laws, because even people who are from here don't like all of the laws. Like doesn't mean you gotta, but you still have to abide by them.
Hold on.
You still have to abide by them.
But hold on,
one at a time, y'all. One at a time.
I got a question. I can't go over to Dubai and just do whatever I want to do, right? I'm not a citizen. I don't have no voting rights. Whatever, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Similarly, I can't even go in your house and tell you how you're supposed to do things, what the rules is, how you decorate, whether or not you should pay your bills on the 1st of the month or the 15th or whatever, so on and so forth. I'm trying to understand what the logic is behind somebody that's not a citizen here being able to determine whether or not they should abide by the laws. I'm trying to understand that part.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that somebody who's not from here, right? I didn't say they should. I said that there's repercussions if you don't abide by the law. I did say that, like, the first thing that I said to Kay when she asked me that question was that there's consequences if you don't abide by the laws, hands down across the board. It doesn't matter. You can't, as you just said, you can't go somewhere and do something, even if that's your cultural custom and you don't know, you're still gonna have repercussions. That's what I did say to Kay initially. But I'm just saying as well that if you're just for this, I'm not using any other example. I'm using just this example because this conversation could go like. So,
you know, Anton is an equal accountability partner, right?
And again, to my point. I wasn't going anywhere else. I'm not talking about breaking the law in any other sense. I just used one example. And again, the measure was adulthood. So the measure was, okay, let's say for instance, 16, obviously if you are of a consent to date somebody, that means that they consider you an adult at that age, right? Because you're making adult decisions. You're not considered a child, right? And again, we're not saying that this age is correct, wrong, or indifferent, but we're just stating that, say for instance, you're considered an adult there at 16. And like I said before, maybe you're 17, you guys are engaged, you come here, you're supposed to break up or go back to wherever the country that you came from, which I think was, I just think that comment wasn't necessary as well. I don't think that conversation was I didn't think that comment brought any value to the conversation. And as he said, you can't go to Dubai and, as he said, act a fool, right? But if say for instance, the dating age in Dubai is 18 and, I'm 17 and my boyfriend is 22 and we go to Dubai on vacation, do we have to act like we're not together because we're in Dubai? Was my question. That was my question. But I genuinely want to know, I brought this question over here because I got a lot of flack on the show. I don't know if you guys saw, and people were strongly disagreeing with my sentiments, which like I said, I'm not saying that the age is right, wrong, indifferent. I just made a point of an example to say that, how can we consider somebody 18 necessarily an adult when in actuality age and adulthood are not, I don't think they're symmetrical. I don't think that just because you turn 18 that makes you an adult, because there's some people who are 25 who still do not have the mindset or the development to act like an adult as well. There's some people who are younger who literally maneuver in an adult in that you would consider them to be an adult. And obviously when I talk about like a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, obviously we're talking about like a certain age. But I just want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I'm very, very interested to see how my Rivah Gang responds to this. I really, really want to know you guys' honest opinions, your honest thoughts, how things are wherever you're from. And also the reason why I want to know is because I didn't, like the sentiments is, if you don't like it here, then go back to wherever you're from. Especially America being a place that so many people migrate to, for a better way of living, and cultures and customs and all those things are completely different. Again, obviously, if you're somewhere and you break the law, like you're going to have repercussions. We're not saying any of that, but I just thought that, regardless of breaking the law, just culturally, if your culture does something one way and culturally things are different here, if you don't like it, go back to wherever you came from. I just thought that was a strong point, and I really want to know what you guys think about this. Make sure that you guys leave your comments in the comment section down below. Again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagram is at RIVAH_JORDON. I thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.